I took a lot off of this because
Okay.
it was way too hot.
And you knew this day was coming, you gotta
Yeah,
look
gotta look good.
good.
Gotta look good.
Gotta
You
look
know what?
good. So the next one I want to get into is if else. So if you follow me into the if else folder into README, if else statements in JavaScript are used to make decisions in code. They commonly use comparison operators to determine if a condition is true or false. So if this, do this. If not,
Mm-hmm.
do this. And that's basically all computers are, right? They're zeros and ones, right? Oh, if they're older than 18, they're allowed to vote. If not, they're not allowed to vote. And it just makes these kind of decisions, and you just make a whole bunch of them, and then you write a bunch of instructions for the computer, and it can end with the result you want. So if else statements are used to execute a block of code if a condition is true. If the condition is false, another block of code can be executed, just like what I said earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So the syntax is if, and then in parentheses, a condition, do this, else do this. And that's basically all it is.
Okay.
Example, let x equal 10. If x is greater than 5, console.log x is greater than 5, else x is less than or equal to 5. There's an if else, and then there's an else if. So basically, that's just adding another condition in the middle. So else if statements are used to specify a new condition if the first condition is false. So if there's a condition,
Mm-hmm.
code else if, run this, and then for all others, run this code.
Okay.
And then the next is ternary operator. It's just a fancy way to use if else. I don't think we need to get into it now.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll just be a little bit more extra syntax and make your code look a little bit cleaner. Like as you can see, like if else if it takes up like 9 lines of code or something. But
Mm-hmm.
ternary statements, you can do it all in one line. And I'll teach you more about that like later on in this
Okay.
lesson. So maybe we'll make a little comparison like const is full moon, and then we can make a boolean, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then if we say if is full moon, we can kind of say console.log werewolves are outside. And then else everyone sleeping peacefully. Just simply like this, let's make an if else statement on under number 1.
Yeah, const. I'm trying to think of what would be easy one.
Let's do drinking at a bar or something.
Like if drinking at bar
Or,
equals
or maybe like a drinking age, or up to you, up to you.
true. And so I'm going to go if, have another, and then else. So then I want to come down to my next squiggly line, else, another one. Oh my
Have another as well.
goodness. Yeah.
Okay, let's do a little bit more of a complicated one. Why don't we do something like why don't we do const drinking age? Something like drinking age equals 21. All right. And then let's do const my age equals, what is my age? 35.
Mm-hmm.
If my age is
Greater
over
or
equal to 21,
then you can have a drink, right? Have a drink.
else
Else, gotta leave.
gotta leave. All right. So like let's say 18. What do you expect this to be right now?
So now it should be the gotta leave, right? Because we're
Right.
under 21.
Right. Let's make another one where it says already drunk, and maybe that's true, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I am 35, but the next question I want to ask is if already drunk, gotta leave, else have a drink.
Okay.
You see how it can get kind of like deeper and deeper?
Mm-hmm. We have an if else statement with another if else in between it,
Mhm,
inside of it.
mhm. So now that if my age is over 35 or over
Mm-hmm.
21, right? Then all we have to think about is this block of code now, right? Because it's not
Okay.
going to go else anymore,
Okay.
right? So now we're here, and then now we're asking, hey, is he already drunk? You know, he's too sloppy. All right,
Mm-hmm.
gotta.
Yeah, he's
All
got
right,
to leave.
then you can drink, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then say he's already drunk, but let's say, okay, so he's not drunk. So let's say he's false,
Mm-hmm.
but let's make something is late. All right, and then let's say is true. So in here,
Another
if
ifs. Mhm.
if is late,
And he's got to chug, like hurry up and drink it.
okay, chug beer, else we can just have a drink, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this can get deeper and deeper and deeper. You see how like kind of like if else can kind of control your code to do what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now we're
So
at
it's kind of
chug.
like we're taking the steps down or steps into it, because we're still meeting that first, like that outside one, like you said, we're going. Hey, we're 35. We passed that, so now we're in the uh, if drunk or if already drunk if else statement, and we're not drunk. So then we got to go to else, and then now we're in that new bracket of okay, am I late or am I not? And it keeps like kind of
Right,
I don't
right.
know.
Like going in and going in and going in a little.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So do you understand all this code here?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you like kind of pretend you're a bartender and you have these three variables to work with, right?
hmm
Or do this for homework actually. Is it okay?
Yeah, yeah. I'll do it for homework. That way
Okay.
it'll be me and whoever's watching. We can make it happen.
Act like a bartender and make if else statements to see if customer can drink or should go home. Okay.
All right.
Right. So else if we'll go for else if quick and then we'll end the module. We have like 6 minutes left.
Okay.
All right. So else if statement is used to specify a new condition beneath the original if and above the else statement. It is used when there are more than two conditions. So so you can make a so it looks like this: if something, do this, else if. So say there's like two ifs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do this, and then else for everything else, do this, right? So then let's say something like if, what is something like this? Age equals 35. If age is over 20, can come into bar. Else if age is over 21,
Mm-hmm.
console.log, can have a drink. Else. All right. So which outcome do you think will happen at this point?
So my if age my 35 is greater than 20, so I can go into the bar. And I think that's
Exactly.
what's gonna stop. Yeah. So I
Exactly. So it
can't.
stopped here, right?
Yeah.
It wouldn't hit this code or it wouldn't hit this code because it hit the first if. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
amazing. So you'd actually want to put this 21 up here and 20 here to make the code run how you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
Say they're 21, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
So
where do you think it would fall here?
uh if age is greater than 21, but it's equal, so then it would go else if age is it'll go down to the else if line where I'm
Right,
now 21, so it'll say can come into bar.
exactly. Cool, cool. So that's kind of how the if else if works.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like you got that in your head very easily. To make your code as clean as possible, you don't want to have that many indents inside.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest. You want to keep like the more deep it goes to the right or whatever and tabs
Mm-hmm.
inside, your code starts to get harder and harder to read. So,
Okay.
my opinion, you want to just kind of like where you can use else if and like define conditions,
Mm-hmm.
should. Because it
Okay.
makes the code a lot more readable later on.
Okay.
Or else you're gonna get into like this thing called like indent hell or whatever, where you just you're if this, okay, okay, if this,
mm-hmm.
then if this, okay, if this, but then you can kind of keep everything kind of aligned to the left if you kind of define your conditions.
Okay.
All right. You know how you're gonna act like a bartender with if else statements?
Mm-hmm.
Let's try to do the same thing with else if on your own time
Okay.
with else if as well. And those will be the two 2 tasks, and you can kind of message me if you have any questions. And if you get through them too quickly, we can always make it harder.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right then. All right. So I'll go. I'll work on those ones, and then I'll compare with if anybody else wants to compare notes. We'll go from there. How I started out with is just at first I was just doing like how we did it through the lesson, like age and etc. That's how I end up with those few arrays, and then I was like, oh, let me do uh, an object, an array of objects that we talked about so many times, and so then that's when I end up doing all of these objects, and then ultimately putting them in the array that is uh, was supposed to be patrons, and then that's another question for you. Like, I was like, I knew I spelled it wrong, but I just kept going, and then now I was like, I should probably return sometimes and actually spell it correctly.
If you're
But
ever in this issue, right,
mm-hmm,
and go to the first instance of Patreons
mm-hmm,
and hit Command D, Command D, Command D, Command D until you get all of them,
mm-hmm.
and then your cursor will be there, and then you could just like change it if you want.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so let me just read here. So you're saying, okay, does this work? It does.
Mm.
Do we need these guys?
Nope.
No, this is just seeing if it works or not, right?
Yeah, that was me just
Okay. And then you have 3 ages, 37, 40, and 18.
mm-hmm.
And you have 2 genders, male and female. Oh, 1 second, let me turn this guy off too. Disable conditions. All right. D driver, so is designated driver.
Yeah.
True or false. All right. So then you have mama bear, name, mama bear, and then if you already made that age array, I'd probably just me personally, I would use it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I slowly started building on it, and then I just left it there. Like, oh, should I come back to it and actually use it, or just remove it? I was kind of
Yeah.
like thinking if I was making a list of 50 people versus only the 3, like, should I be using an array for that, or not?
This is good practice, but
Mhm.
I just keep the objects very separate to each other.
Okay.
I wouldn't use the array. Like, yeah, I would like if there's only a 1-to-1,
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense. Like if like address, they can have like more than one address, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But if it's just 1-to-1, I just put it into that object.
Okay.
Yeah. So but it just makes your code a little bit more there it adds complexity that it doesn't need to have.
Okay.
No. So let's just change these guys back to 37.
And then so I can just comment out the const
Age.
age, or
Okay. Are you using it anywhere? No,
nope.
right? Okay. So then you have mama bear, daddy bear, baby bear, and then you have patrons, mama bear, daddy bear, baby bear.
Mhm.
All right, so you pick off the property, and patrons 0 should be mama bear.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So that's what we got. I think we should see that log. Yes, this is mama bear. All right, and then you have scenario. So patron 0, so that's mama bear, right?
Yeah.
Enters the bar. So that's what we have. Mama enters the bar. Bartender checks ID. If patron's age is over 21, all right, what can I get you to drink? So checks ID. All right, what can I get you to drink? And then we didn't go into this else. And then we should probably keep these. If I would put like a space here, just to be honest,
Mhm.
make your code a little bit more readable. So this is like a block of code, right? This if else, and then
Mhm.
this is the block of code. Bartender checks ID. All right, what can I get you to drink? And then patrons 2 is over.
I should be under 21, like, because he's 18.
Patron number, yes. So if he's over 21,
Mm-hmm.
come in. Else if patrons 1.age, so that's daddy bear.
Yeah.
So dad will drive home. So that's working. Okay. And then patron 1, mama bear enters the bar. Bartender checks the ID. All right, what can I get you to drink? And then what were you having a problem with earlier?
So this very last one, the round three, I think if you look that last else statement, it's running, and I don't think it should be 79 and 80.
And then the his drink is appletini. Please make it a double.
Yeah.
And then you want it to stop after this, right?
Yeah, like it shouldn't go to the, I thought it wouldn't go to the else.
This is a separate block of code, and this is a separate block of code, right?
Oh,
If
okay. So it's
if
not,
start, it's gonna run this every time. So if you do not want this to run, then I would put it inside of here or something, and then actually a way that you can just make it stop is just return. Each of these ifs, like when you make an if statement first,
mhm.
it's another block of code you're adding. So like if true, this is a block of code. If
Mhm.
false, this is a block of code. If 5 equals 4, 3, this is a block of code. So each of these are, this is 3 blocks of code, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Okay, so what I guess what I was going for was, what I was trying to do, if, like you said, is true, then do this, but then again, something inside of that. Like I thought we could do
mm,
multiple ones, multiple like ifs.
so I think this is the way I do it. Okay. I got what you're saying.
Okay.
Oh, so I'm just gonna rewrite some of this code.
Okay.
So one, let's just put it like greeting, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just say console.log patrons one dot name enters the bar. All right, now this person, welcome back. Patrons one dot name. All right, that part's good.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if so, the first one that we want to check is the age, right?
Right.
All right, so patrons dot age, if that is greater than or equal to 21, and then here we say like, oh, it is okay to drink, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then if that's an else, and then we say this thing, oh, it looks like you're a little young, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then our next check here, if it's okay, right? We say, hey, are you the designated driver, right?
Mm-hmm.
Say, hey, if patrons one dot if he's the D driver,
Yeah.
it's true, then no thanks, I'm driving tonight. This is what's happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and then if he's not, then it's like, okay, all right, man, give me that drink and make it a double,
Yeah.
right? So maybe this is the way the code, this would be a little bit more simple because you have so this is how I like to think about it. You have the
Mm-hmm.
first really important question. Hey, are you old enough? You know?
Mm-hmm.
And then you kind of have the if, and then you make the else statement because you kind of split up the things, right? Like you have
Yeah.
the here, and then you maybe put an else here, right? And then like the subject matter is age. So you want to make that one block of code, and then the subject matter of the next one is designated driver, right?
Okay.
And you want to put those together. So the first thing is in my mind, hey, are you old enough to drink? Are you? Then what are the actions that I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
have after I know that you're old enough to drink? Are you designated driver? Okay. Then and then if not else, then make me drink. And then that block of code is in the if statement, and then else we don't even need to run this designated driver code if he's not old enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does
Right.
that make sense? And you have to
Yeah.
kind of think like as the computer, you don't want to make it do stuff that it doesn't want to do or doesn't need to do.
Okay.
Plus,
So when I did mine, I just made three separate blocks of code, and that's why it was running all three versus what 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 you just made, which is it has it within it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Does it make sense? Yeah.
Yeah.
This is how I like to think about it anyways.
Mhm.
Like just there's a big question, like that's like the big if else. And then
Mhm.
there could be other conditions. And then if it doesn't even reach that big condition, I don't even want to run the stuff in the what in the if yet. You know what
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
I mean? Okay. Cool. Did I answer every question that you
Yeah,
have?
yeah. That answered it. That answered it. So now I'll try and take another shot at it again with that. I don't know. Do you call it like an embedded if statement inside of another if else, or like
I don't even know. Just
you
I
don't
just
know? Okay, just double
the
if.
if else inside of the if else. Yes.
Okay, that works.